Hello dear students, let us see how to pass array to a function and further understand relation of array and pointer. Now check that in this particular slide, I have written one program in which the main is declaring an array of 5 elements, and also we are initializing those values of the elements to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can imagine that in the memory there is an array which sequentially stores these values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just see, we give the indexes of the array, or rather array indexing starts with 0 and goes up to 4, but there will be some begin address from where the array starts. Just imagine the start address of the array is 100. Okay, so there is the concept that we have learned in the earlier videos, that the name of the array, just check the name of the array here is A. The name of the array itself gives address of the array. So we can imagine that A is 100. It is storing address of the array, base address. So A is called as a constant pointer that we learned in the earlier videos, and A cannot be changed. A will now always point to this begin address of the array. Now you just check this call. This is a function call. We are calling the function f1, and what are we passing? Now you may read this as we are calling the function f1 and we are passing the array because A is the array. Check in the bracket of f1 we have written A in the call of the function. So one might think that okay, we are passing the array. That means we are passing this complete list of values. That means what is getting passed to the function is big list of 5 values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that's not truth. No, that's not correct. We are not passing this list of values, but we are simply passing A. Tell me what is A. A is the address of the array or base address of the array. So what we are passing is simply this start address. That's it. From where does this array begin? Just see the call to the function is f1a, and clearly notice A is the name of the array and name of the array represents start address of the array. So just imagine this array was 5000 elements long instead of 5 elements long. It would have been a very big array storing lots of values, 5000 values. And what really happens when you pass an array to a function? Well, please don't be under an impression that all 5000 values are passed. Simply a small address is passed because the name of the array itself is the address. Okay. Now come to the function here. Function has got called, and look at the parameter of the function. This parameter declaration exactly matches the array declaration. Note, in main we have declared the array as int a square bracket 5. By writing that, we told C compiler that we have array A which has 5 locations and every location holds an integer value, and check the parameter declaration. This parameter declaration says that we have an array called P. Just check my words. We have array P which has 5 locations and each location can hold an integer. And rightly so, whatever you pass should be whatever you receive. If you are passing A, and notice A declared in your program is int a square bracket 5, then in the function, when you write the function void f1, you should tell what is this A. A is integer array, name that array as P, a substitute name, and then write the size of the array. all of you know from the earlier videos that name of the parameter can be same as the name of what you are passing. So this name could have been A again. That is not wrong. But just to avoid confusion, we have given the name as P. Okay. Now the thing is, something really very interesting I am telling you. And this will of course close the discussion of how do you pass array and what happens when you pass an array to a function. The discussion here will end just in one statement. What I want to say is this parameter which you have written as int p square bracket phi will get converted, will get substituted by the compiler as int asterisk p. Surprised? Just see, we have written as programmers, we have written that we are passing an array of size phi. So we are catching an array of size phi. Okay. This is for our convenience we have written, or for readers' convenience we have written. But actually this gets translated, converted into int asterisk p, because tell me what you are passing again. When you write f1a, what are you passing? You are passing address. That is simply 100. Base address of the array you are passing, and this pointer is enough to catch that address. You all know now that the pointer p is going to be a new pointer in the memory, and it will also store 100, and this p will point to 100. So what happens actually is the base address of the array gets copied in a pointer. Which method would you like to write as parameter? Int asterisk p, which is also correct. You know that this is what ultimately happens, or int p square bracket phi. Think over it. Well, for my money, this is going to be better one always. Of course, as a programmer, I would like to write this. But then the hidden fact is that C understands that you are not passing entire array. You are not passing list of values. You are just passing a pointer. You are passing an address. Then this P actually, the name you have written is actually a pointer, which points to the same address where the array starts. Okay. Now have a look at the next line. P0 is equal to P0 plus 1. I hope you have watched the earlier videos. Any such convention, something followed by square bracket, correct, is taken as asterisk p plus 0. And right hand side is again p0. This is taken as asterisk p plus 0 plus 1. That means it is asterisk p is equal to asterisk p plus 1 because 0 is added. So that doesn't make any difference. So what is this asterisk p? Asterisk p is 1, value to which it points, and this value should be incremented by 1. So this value will become 2. Note, we have not passed the array at all. We have not passed the values. But how the function f1 can reach those values through this pointer? Can easily reach the values. Have a look at it again. Programmer's convenience, I am telling you. Programmer's convenience. See this? If programmer doesn't want to know anything about it, I mean what is address and all that, come on, and minimum code that programmer wants to write, then forget about pointers and all that. You are passing an array, you receive an array. Simple. And use array notations. This does not have pointer notation, but this line is literally taken as asterisk p plus 0. So p plus 0 is going to give us what? Address, and then asterisk will give us the value, and that value was 1 over here. That value has to be increased by 1. So actually we are having access to each element of the array. Tell me, if I would have written p1 is equal to p1 plus 1 here, so then we are actually playing with the first element which I am underlining here, because this will be substituted as asterisk p is asterisk p plus 1. So do you agree, by passing a, look at the call again, f1a, we have complete access to the array. We can reach any element of the array using P. You can use array notations with P, although P is a pointer. I said this is int asterisk P. So although you have written P square bracket 1, you know how C compiler is going to convert this into pointer notations, because it knows that P is a pointer which points to the base address of the array. So where were we? We said that this line is P0 is equal to P0 plus 1, and then ends the function. Check that the function ends here. But then when the function ends, we come back to the main, and in the main we are having a for loop where we are printing all the values of this array starting from 0 index to 4 index. And recall that the previously stored values were 1 2 3 4 5, but now the values are stored are 2 2 3 4 5. So the output of this code will be 2 2 3 4 5. This proves that when you pass name of the array to a function, you have access to the entire array and you can reach any elements. Let's see one more example on the empty slate. Let's say I have written a function, simple function f1, and I have written int asterisk p here. Okay, and the function does something. Let's fill the function later. Then I am having int main, and in the main, check that I am having an array this time, int a square bracket is equal to 10 20 30 40 50. Okay, and then I am calling the function by passing a. So please try to understand, I am not passing the array, I am passing base address of the array, because the name of the array itself is the address. So if you actually show this array storing 10 20 30 40 50, starting from indexes 0 up to 4, and imagine that base address is 100, then a is literally 100, name of the array, and this address has been passed to the pointer, and pointer is very well capable of taking the addresses. So P is going to be a new pointer which will store 100, and P will also point to the begin address of the array. Now tell me a few notations. In this code, in this f1 function, okay, if I write P2 this way, P2, then it means this location which I am marking, correct? Although P is a pointer, look how we are using it, using array notation. But tell me, asterisk P plus 2. This also means P2. This also means this location, or the value at this location. So both are going to give us 30, because that's the value stored. Isn't it so? So what will this for loop do? If I write some for loop like this here, for I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 4, I plus plus. So I am running through the array, complete array I am going through 0 to 4 locations. Okay. And if I say pi is equal to pi plus 1, then each element of this array, p0, p1, p2 up to p4 will be increased by 1. So these values will become 11, 21, 31, 41 and 51. Look how the function has got access to the complete array. And now just imagine, after this for loop, this function ends. When the function ends, we return to main, and in main, if we try to print the array, we declare one more integer variable here, I, and if you print the array for I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 4, I plus plus, and simply print using %d format each element of the array saying AI. In that case, the new values 11, 21, 31, 41, 51 will be printed. So again, you see what an idea C language applies. See, when you are passing an array, you have a big list of values. And what they thought is, instead of passing all the list, all the values, which will take time, the message passing will take time, why don't we pass only the start address? So this is very fast. This address will be copied in the pointer, and then you can use that pointer as if it is an array. And the nice part that C keeps is, if you don't like this pointer notation, okay, you write this P as an array. You write P square bracket 5, because the array you are passing is of size 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So you can use this P as an array, but in the background, you just remember that it is a pointer. One more nice feature about C language is that, suppose I have written a function f1 and there is an array passed to this, integer array passed. So I will write int p square bracket and the size of the array should be written here. But the nice part about C language is that C says that when you are writing a parameter which is an array, you can just leave the square bracket empty. Just leave it empty. It will find out how many elements are there in the array. You know what's the big reason that you don't write size over here? You need not write size, leave it. What's the big reason? Because this is nothing but int asterisk p. So what difference it makes? Ultimately, this declaration is going to be converted to a pointer. So whether you write the size over there or not, what difference it is going to make to C language? You just check. If you have written something like this, okay, and then in main you are having an array and you have initialized the array. Let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, okay, 5 element array. And now you are calling the function f1 and you have written a. Now one might wonder, I am passing the array, so I am receiving the array, so I must write the size here. My point is, you may write the size or you may not write the size. It's okay, you leave that square bracket empty, because ultimately this p is a pointer. It's a simple pointer which points to the base address of the array. So C says it doesn't make any difference to me. Nice. So all these things you remember about how to pass array to a pointer. More complex programming can come up after these videos to actually improve our concepts on array, pointer and functions. Okay, so thank you very much for this video.